Hello, thank you so much for joining. I'm joined by Coleen Nolan. Obviously, we know her of the face of Loose Women, but also a member of the original girl band, the Nolans. But also recently, she's been dabbling into a bit of acting. So, Coleen, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is lovely.
So, can you tell me a bit more about Thundergirls?
So, Thundergirls is based on a girl band from the 80s, which I was in, but it's not based on us. Who fall out very, I can't even think of the word. What's the word I'm looking for?
Disputes.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically,
because you break up, don't
they hate each other, and they break up, and 30 years later, they're invited to reform for this particular show, which will make them loads of money, blah, blah, blah. So one of the Thundergirls, Chrissy, tries to get them all together again, round at her house to have this dinner to see if they can put all their issues behind them. My character, they don't even know where she is. I left, something happened, I won't give the game away. Something happened to me that was very embarrassing, and I just left. I didn't speak to anyone for 30 years, so they don't even know if I'm alive, where I am. Anyway, eventually, obviously they do find me because I'm in the play. That's giving that away. And they do find me, and we get back together, and it's just them just sorting all their issues out, which sounds really... It's the kind of thing that has to happen before all these reunion tours. You know, when you think, oh, I'd love to have been at that meeting or that dinner, we're giving you the opportunity to be there.
What happens behind
in
the
a
closed
very
doors.
Exaggerated fashion. I mean, there's fights, there's it's laugh out loud moments, there's some really great songs, some really sad bits. It's a really, really lovely, great night out, actually. And what's lovely is all the tickets now are the same price. The producers have made all the tickets under £30 because they want to encourage people to be able to afford to go to the theatre, which I think is a lovely idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is your kind of acting debut. Really.
Yes.
You know, you're a fantastic singer, but you haven't really been doing much acting, really. How have you found that? You know, you've spoken up before about, you know, experiencing stage fright. You know, when I read that, I was quite surprised.
I know everyone is. I blag in it, to be honest with you. I blag the whole stage fright thing because if I didn't,
very well.
if I didn't, I wouldn't. I literally, if I let it control me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even do Loose Women. It's lit. I mean, I say stage fright. It's literally 2 minutes before I do anything. Even doing this, I get a moment of, I don't know if I can do this. But then once I walk out on stage, it's gone.
Is there anything you do to try and manage it before you go?
I'd love to say there is.
There isn't anything?
No. I've just have a good talking to myself and just go on. What you're going to do, you can't let them down. But, yeah, and once I'm on, like I said, it's fine. Once you get the reaction from the audience, that takes all your nerves away. But obviously with the acting thing, it was my first time. Yeah. So it was added fear of, I've never had to learn line. I mean, I've done pantomime, but you know, if you mess your lines up in panto, it becomes funny and part of the pantomime.
You kind of roll with it, yeah.
But you can't really do that when you're playing a character. So that was very nerve-wracking for me, but thank God it didn't happen.
Obviously with Thundergirls, you know, you've got a great female cast, you know, on stage and also behind the stage. Why do you think that's so important?
I think it's very important in this day and age that not only have we gotten, we have got one guy in it, Gary Webster, who's fabulous, but the main characters are not only 4 females, but 4 females over 50, and I think that's really important in this day and age. And I love that about Melanie Blake, who wrote the book and the play, obviously, because she was turned down so many times. She's tried to get this off the ground for 20-odd years and constantly been told by male promoters and producers, the women are too old, it won't work. Which didn't make sense because if they were in the 30s and they hadn't seen each other for 30 years, they wouldn't have been born, so that's a bit stupid. But she fought on and she totally believed in it, and now for her, I'm more thrilled for her because now her dream has become a reality and she sees us up there and she sees people. You know, when we did it, we did it for a week at the Lowry in Salford in Manchester, and it was standing ovations every night, and I was more thrilled for her because I thought, good on you for sticking to your guns. And she's a great believer that women of all ages, but certainly ones that are wrote off, really, once we get in our 50s, have still so much to say and so much to give. And that's why I think it's important nowadays.
The play's been really credited
That was a really long answer, wasn't it? I'm so sorry if you've all fallen asleep. Stay with me, I get better.
The play was really credited for, you know, that kind of wide appeal. So you mentioned about the ticket prices, you know, making it affordable for people to access the theatre. But, you know, why do you think it's so accessible for all ages as well?
The play?
Yeah.
Because I think these reunions are happening, you know, yes, they've got bands from the 80s, now we've got bands from the 90s. You know, I still think things like, I still believe Girls Aloud, people like that in the future will all get back together. So I think it is relatable to every age, and everyone wants to know what goes on behind the scenes.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I think it is. And I think for people who remember us, for instance, in the 80s, it's a night of where it brings them back to their youth and
sense of nostalgia.
a sense of nostalgia, yeah.
So obviously you're having a reunion yourself with your sisters.
Yes.
Kind of that experience of being part of a girl band and coming back together again, how have you drawn upon that to kind of play your character within the play?
Well, it's really difficult because, in a way, because, you know, yes, I was in a girl band in the 80s, but we're siblings. So we'd have squabbles like siblings do, and it would absolutely be fine. 5 minutes later, it'd be like, can I borrow your lipstick? Yeah. And even when we didn't work together and we did our Nolans reunion tour in 2009, we were just excited. We couldn't wait, you know, so excited that people wanted to do that for us again. And that was probably one of the highlights of my career, that reunion. So it's hard to compare that to the Thundergirls, but I was also round other bands that really didn't speak to each other and wouldn't even share the same car, let alone a dressing room. Or so I knew that, you know, I still know that this goes on, and I've seen them all of a sudden doing reunions and think, I bet that was interesting. So yeah, you know, it's just the industry, and yeah, I can draw from that. But the actual characters, because when I got the script, I was worried. I thought, if this is too much close to home or whatever, I won't be happy with it. But actually, when I read all the characters, and especially my character, I thought, it doesn't resemble any of us. And you'll know why if you come to see it, why it definitely doesn't resemble me. But I won't say more than that.
If you could have any reunion of any band, boy band, girl band, what reunion would it be?
It's such a tricky question, that. I did get asked that for the first time today, and it threw me then.
Mine would be Oasis.
Yeah, they said that, and I kind of went, that's got to, I mean, they keep saying it won't happen, but
it will.
It's got to happen. Even if it's one night, that's got to happen, and it will be massive, and I would be really interested in that.
This year. It's big year, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, but then, you know, they're a perfect example of siblings can fall out or not get on professionally. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see them do it. I'd like to be at that dinner. God. Imagine that. That would be interesting.
Just moving aside from the theatre stuff now, in terms of your campaigning around body positivity, you know, with Loose Women, that was a big campaign, a hugely successful campaign. Why did you kind of steer that way? And why is it so important, especially in kind of the current climate?
I think that's why it was important, because we live in a climate where, for some reason, and women especially, are aesthetically trying to please everybody, and social media, you know, is a massive, you know, influence on that. You know, I have an 18-year-old daughter and sons as well in their 20s, and you know, they're bombarded with these images all the time, and a lot of them, no matter how much you say, look, they're filtered or they're fake, I always say to my daughter, look how great I look on some of these photo sessions, and I really don't. You know, it's been photoshopped, thank the Lord, please don't ban it. But I think it's important to say that beauty and confidence is so much more than just the way you look. And it was great that Loose Women is not only different shapes and sizes, it's different age ranges, and we're confident, strong women, and that's nothing to do with, you know, I'm not a size 10, never will be. But, you know, life's more than that, and I think that's important in this day and age to really show that. International Women's Day is coming up.
You know, you had a message to young girls out there. What would that be?
To young girls out there?
Just to deal with the pressures of life, really, what that message?
I think my message would be that it's great to look at things online and look at beautiful things or whatever, but realise that the only thing that's important are the people that you surround yourself with, the people that truly love you for who you are, whatever way you look, whatever shape or size you are, to continue to be strong. I think they're in a brilliant position now. I think women are getting stronger and stronger, especially with everything that's just happened recently. And to keep going. I think young people especially are fantastic now, so don't let social media bring you down.
I think that's a really poignant message, and I was a big fan of the positivity campaign.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for leading that way.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
It's such a pleasure. This is great.
Today.
I feel like I'm at home.
So just so the viewers know, so you're in Croydon. You know the date?
Croydon Fairfield Halls from the 10th of November to the 21st.
Perfect.
And we're also at the Beck Theatre in Hayes.
And tickets are £30.
They are £29.50, just under £30. Yes, do not buy them anywhere else. And please just come along for a great night out.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Colleen. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you're watching, don't forget to like, share and comment. Thank you.